Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the podcast. It's been a while since I posted one of these, mainly because I've been at work and I have got no time to do this. So I'm just going to get straight into episode 3 and hopefully it's not too long because the last one, I think it was a bit, half an hour is a bit too long. You don't want to listen to my voice for half an hour. That's it. So if you like this, like it. And also, why don't you comment on some stuff that I can talk about next podcast, because that means that I don't have to think about anything and I'm lazy and I don't really want to think about anything, and you can give me ideas instead and you won't get any credit for it. Oh, nice. So this episode we're going to talk about normal stuff, life and what I've been doing and some things that have annoyed me, and I'm going to go on a big rant like I normally do, and then we're going to talk about news, the news that doesn't actually matter. Not the news that matters, the news that doesn't matter. Then we're going to talk about TV and film, and then we'll talk about music, and that's it. So that's the end of the podcast. So we're just going to do live stuff, news, TV, music. That'll be it. So the first thing I want to talk about is Sheffield. So I went into Sheffield at the weekend, like shopping. The first thing to say is that at the minute everybody is moving into Sheffield, like because it's uni, and I don't know whether it's just me, but I seem to see the same Chinese guy carrying the same box every single time I'm in Sheffield, and he's just like, so there's like a Chinese student with a backpack on and glasses, and he's just wandering around Sheffield with this box. Every single time I'm in Sheffield, he's moving in somewhere. And the only thing that could possibly be in this box, the only thing that would fit in this box is a picture frame or a really, really, really thin 42-inch TV without a stand. Is the only thing that that could possibly be in this cardboard box because of the dimensions of it. And he looks, every time I see him, he looks so confused walking around Sheffield, just like, oh, which way am I going? Like, and then last week I saw him again carrying the same box, but this time he had 2 followers. So like 2 of his friends who were following behind him weren't helping him carry the box. They were just texting on their mobile phones, but in single file. Now, I hope that some other people have seen this phenomenon of random Chinese guy carrying furniture around Sheffield, or constant moves in Chinese guy walking around Sheffield, because I don't know whether it's just me at this point going mad and it's just like an apparition that I'm seeing. Like maybe the way that I see the God or Jesus is through this Chinese guy. Maybe it's a big metaphor. Maybe he is a Chinesus, is what I want to call him. Anyway, let's start the podcast with controversy, as we normally do, because you love it. So yeah, Sheffield trip, went around Sheffield, saw Chinesus carrying his box as normal. What I find really annoying about city centres is, why do homeless people have dogs? Hey, you're trying to feed yourself and struggling. Why do you have an animal as well? Why don't you just give that animal away to someone that can actually give it food? It makes no sense. Like maybe that's why they're homeless in the first place, because they struggled in week 1 maths. Hey, if you have 1 biscuit and there's 2 of you, then you get half a biscuit each. That means you are not full on half a biscuit. It annoys me. Just take the dog to a shelter and then you'll have double the food, you idiots. So controversial. That should be my slogan. So controversial. The next thing is that I started back at work, and I really don't like being back at work, but I'm going to tell you about some stuff that happened whilst I was at work. So first day back, I saw the cleaner, and she says to me, she seems to make conversation with me all the time, and I just can't be bothered at 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, yeah, you all right? How you doing? Have you watched the television? Yes, because everybody watches television, so thank you for starting that conversation. have you seen that it's gone from being sunny outside to now being less sunny? Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I've noticed, and because I'm, like I said last week, I'm just so passive. I actually have a conversation with her, and I hate myself for doing it. Like, oh yeah, I know. So I went outside the other day with my girlfriend, and I felt a bit chilly, and I feel myself cringe at myself. It's disgusting. But anyway, I was talking to the cleaner about the fact that I'm back at work, and she went, let me just get the actual quote on my phone of what she said. She went, where have I put it? Where have I put it? This is not organised. Right, so yeah, she said, oh, by the way, this cleaner is at least 65. Like, she should have retired, like, at least, well, like 5 years ago. In her 60s, she should have retired. She's at least 65. I said, oh, I'm not looking forward to being back at work. And she said, oh, it'll be bants. It'll be bants. Like, that doesn't make sense. I hate the word banter because it doesn't mean anything. Banter is just like an excuse to have a go at somebody and get away with it. It's like, oh, I think that you're a terrible father, and every time I look at your wife, she looks sad. Just a bit of banter. No, it's not. All right. Just saying, oh, it's just banter is just like, by the way, I'm going to offend you now, but it won't mean anything. That annoys me. Speaking of banter at work, so people say things that are offensive, and it's, oh, just a bit of banter. Right. I'm like in charge of some other members of staff, and today I had to wear a high vis jacket at work. Now me and this woman at work, we always have like a laugh and a joke. And I got this massive high vis jacket on, and when I walked past her, she went, "Oh, you look like you've got a promotion." And she went, "You'll be bossing me about, won't you?" And I went, "Yeah, I'll be bossing you about it." She went, "Oh, don't give me some orders." And then I said to her, and this is really bad. Well, it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad, but it could be construed in this PC society being bad. So she went, "Oh, don't. I hope you're not giving me any orders." And I went, "Oh, I bet you want me to give you some orders, don't you?" As a joke, obviously, don't mean it, because it was a joke, a bit of banter. And she went, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe you've said that. Have you not read about the Me Too campaign? I should report you for saying that, for saying, ooh, want to boss me about." She says it's disrespectful to women. I'm not making that up, by the way. That actually happened. And nowadays, everybody's offended by everything. So when I posted the last podcast, everyone was like, "Oh, you can't say that. It's offensive." I don't care. All right? I don't care if I'm offensive. To speak and to have an opinion in the first place is to be offensive. Like, you are definitely going to offend somebody every time you open your mouth, so don't worry about it. So yeah, went to Sheffield, started back at work, and on the way to work, I find it really, I can't. On the way to work, I find it really boring to listen to the radio, and I get annoyed with my albums really quickly. So I've started listening to podcasts and like videos, and I just put my phone on like autoplay on YouTube and turn the volume down, the quality down to like 144p, and I just let it play. Now, the adverts on YouTube are not suitable for driving, and the advert that's winding me up at the minute is the Headspace app. Because the guy on the Headspace app, he talks like he is a feather. If you imagine a person that transformed into a feather, that's the guy on the Headspace app. And if you don't believe me, here's him talking about accepting the mind.
Think of the mind as a still pool of water. Each thought is like a raindrop. It creates a ripple on the surface. If it starts raining very hard or it's perhaps a little windy, then the pool might become so cloudy that we can't see what's on the bottom. But the potential to return to our still pool of water is still there. In fact, by training the mind, the ripples naturally begin to slow.
This guy has got 9 million views on that video. And he talks like this. Think of the mind as a candle. Sometimes you might light the candle and feel like warmth in the mind, but sometimes you might blow the candle out and it might be dark in the mind and you feel confused. So every now and then, let's light a candle. Where's my 9 million views? Also, this guy, I'm not even joking, in the car, because I can't use my phone when I'm in the car, so I literally put it to one side and put it on autoplay. I can't skip these adverts, so I'm falling to sleep on the way to work because of this guy's voice.
And as the surface of the pool becomes still, it gets easier to see what's beneath the surface. Sometimes we might like what we see, at other times, well, maybe not so much. Now, occasionally finding things we don't like may sound off-putting, but it's really important.
I don't think that this guy is a real person. I just imagine that he like walks through like Morrison's and he's like, oh, a banana. I like the colour yellow on bananas. It reminds me of the sun. I like bananas. Like, is he a real person? 9 million views. Proper winds me up, and also dangerous because I keep falling asleep on the way to work because it's like, think of the mind. I'm going to get some traffic lights, stop for 2 minutes. Think of the mind as a big pillow. No, I'm at traffic lights. I'm about to set off. Think of the mind as a puddle of mud. No. Think of the mind as an apple that's not been bitten into. Please, I'm trying to drive. Why do they put those? I don't know why YouTube, that's like the recommended to me on YouTube and keeps auto playing, but if you don't hear from a podcast for the next 3 weeks, it's because I've fallen asleep at the traffic lights of a Headspace advert. Anyway, less ranting on that. Now I'm going to talk about news because I don't want it to go on forever on recording this. Oh my god, has it stopped recording? No, it looks like it's still recording. 10 minutes? 10 minutes recording? Has it stopped? I'm going to just pause it just to see if it's working. Okay, I'm back. It was working. I don't know why my computer just stopped after 10 minutes. It was recording, it just didn't, the time wasn't going up. I'm making excuses because this is my 3rd episode and I don't know how I'm doing. So now I'm going to talk about the news, and like not the news that matters, but like the news that I find interesting or I find pointless. So the first thing is, I'm not going to talk about all of the massive natural disasters that have gone on in the world because there's just too many to count. So I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm not going to talk about Brexit because, oh, when's Brexit going to happen? No one cares. The only person that cares about Brexit is if you live in the centre of London and you earn over like £1 million a year, then you care about Brexit and everybody else don't care. Oh, your apples have increased in price by 5 pence. Brexit. Don't care about Brexit, so don't care about that news. The news that I care about is one of the headlines of the BBC last week was, where have all the public toilets gone? Now this is a good topic. It's not worthy of the BBC News because that's the national news website, but it's a good topic because where have actually the public toilets gone? There's none anywhere. If you go to any city centre, it's really hard to find public toilets. That's why homeless people, topic brought up again. This is why homeless people go in McDonald's. If you go into any McDonald's in a city centre, go into the toilets, go into a cubicle, and you will find a plastic bag on the floor with an empty bottle of WKD and then like an old coat and maybe one shoe. In every McDonald's in a city centre, WKD, coat, one shoe. Because there's no public toilets anywhere and the homeless people can't go anywhere. And when you are in the middle of a city centre, there's no app on your phone to tell you where the nearest toilets are. And there should be, and I've copyrighted that. If anybody else comes up with that app, then I'm going to sue them, and this is my podcast of proof. An app which tells you where the nearest public toilets are, and also it tells you if they cost money, and you can rate them. So the nearest toilets is 3rd floor Morrison's, or I don't know, behind the back of WH Smith's. But I've copyrighted that app now. You can't steal it. If you steal it, I'm going to sue you for £1 million, and then I'll never make podcasts again. So maybe I'll sue you anyway. So yeah, that was a good story about where the public toilet's gone. The BBC didn't solve it. They just asked the question, where have the public toilets gone? And then that was the end of the article. The other thing in the news that today is that Bert and Ernie have been confirmed by the creator of Sesame Street to be gay. No, they haven't, because it doesn't matter. Like, I know that it's 2018 and we want to have diversity, but you can't just rewind the clock and make characters gay just because it suits the cultural climate. It's like J.K. Rowling. She wrote all the Harry Potter books, and then after they'd all come out and the films had come out, somebody said to her, sorry, is there any gay characters in Harry Potter? And she's like, yes, Dumbledore's gay. No, he isn't. Nothing in the book suggests that Dumbledore's gay. You've just said that because of diversity and, I need a gay character, so it's Dumbledore. It's like if the maker of Teenage Mutant, like saying Bert and Ernie are gay together from Sesame Street, even though they never have any relationships on the show, it's for children, so they don't need to have relationships. They are puppets, so they don't even need to have a sexuality. Saying that Bert and Ernie are gay is like saying, Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he is bisexual. Who cares? It's not part of the story. Like, it doesn't affect the narrative at all. Just stop giving sexualities to creatures that don't need them in programs. Annoys me. I don't want to talk about any more news because I'm just going to rant for ages. Let's go on to TV because I don't want it to be too long. So the next thing on TV is Bake Off, and I've been watching Bake Off, and I've got a few things to say about Bake Off, which is I was watching Bake Off the other week, and it's Manon is from France. So there's a woman in Bake Off, the Great British Bake Off, called Manon, and she's from France. Manon is from France. She's making a wonderfully flavoured naan bread. So there was, not only should she not be in it because it's the Great British Bake Off and there's a French woman in it who's obviously going to win it. They were making breads last week. So you've got Manon who's making a naan bread. So everybody else is walking around making naan breads and nan breads. And there's also Manon. So at one point, somebody called Manon Minan. I'm not joking. Watch the programme. So they're all saying nan and non and manon. And at one point, somebody goes, Minan, to the French woman. Minan. Oh, I wonder what Minan's made. Also, it's 3 weeks into Bake Off, and you've already done cakes, biscuits, and breads. Hey, Bake Off, what are you going to make next? Because the only reason people are watching the programme is to see you make biscuits and cakes, and you've got 13 weeks left. Why would you put cakes in at week 2? Nobody's going to keep watching it after that. This week we want you to make buns. They're just smaller cakes. All right, you've ruined it, haven't you? Doing biscuits week 1 and cakes week 2. You've ruined the Bake Off. There was a terrible marketing decision to do cakes and cakes and biscuits in the first 2 weeks. Love Bake Off. It's just wonderful. What else? Oh yeah, everybody keeps adding rose water. Everybody keeps adding rose water to everything that they bake, and it never works. If you watch Bake Off, they're like, Raoul has flavoured his bread with rose water. Why? It's like the program is sponsored by the Catholic Church. Everybody's just adding rose water to stuff. Nobody has ever in their life been like, do you know what I fancy? A lovely chocolate sponge flavoured with rose water. There's just no need. Manon has put some rose petals into her buns. No thanks, Manon. I'll just have a butterfly bun, please, with some icing on it. Also, speaking of TV, have you seen the new... You need to watch the new John Lewis advert, because everybody at my work is going on about the new John Lewis advert as though it's like the best thing they've ever seen. Oh, it's the best thing I've ever seen. Right. The new John Lewis advert has got some kids, right, and they're performing a horrendous school play dressed as robots, and then at the end they sing Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, everyone's like, oh yeah, because I like Bohemian Rhapsody and children, and that means that the combination of the two makes the new John Lewis advert good. Like, did the people at John Lewis literally have a random word generator, and it was like, school, theatre, space, Queen. Hey, John Lewis, I don't know what you sell. What do you sell? Because I don't know what you sell. Like, what do they actually sell, John Lewis? Everything? Rockets? Theatre companies? It's annoying. I'm getting frustrated this week. I'm doing too many breaths. You'll hear me go, because I'm annoyed. And I get told off for doing that, so I'll not do that. Music. All of the people are sending diss tracks to each other. Eminem, he responds to Machine Gun Kelly's diss track, and Machine Gun Kelly said that Eminem was old, and Eminem said that Machine Gun Kelly is young, but then Machine Gun Kelly, he's responded back on Twitter by saying that that Eminem's old again, and Eminem has just had an interview with Wired, and he said that Machine Gun Kelly is young. I feel like this is my version of hell. It's just me watching like MTV News, and it's just the most pointless rap battle ever. You are both rappers. You are not competing for the same like part of the industry, because Eminem, like, he's too old now anyway. Like, he's kind of had his moment, and Machine Gun Kelly, I didn't even know who he was until like he released this video. So why are they battling against each other? Hey, I've got 1 million tattoos on my nipples and they're all guns. Why don't you rap about that? Why don't you rap about the fact that when somebody tattooed your nipples with like a rocket launcher, it was sore? That would be a good rap. I would actually listen to that rap. Oh dear. So I've done massive rants today, and it's probably gone on for a bit too long, I think. But yeah, if you listened this far, then well done. You have got an achievement. And if you haven't listened this far, then see you later. And I hope you have a good week. And post in the comments if you want to ask me anything, or give me some new topics to talk about, so that I don't have to put any effort in, because that's what I like to do in my life. And yeah, see you later.